Monster Hunter, a once niche franchise that has only skyrocketed in global popularity in the past few years. Many are drawn in by its tight and incredibly addicting gameplay loop, tackling and mastering the franchise's ever-expanding roster of monsters, crafting new and better gear, and then running back to the hub to fight even greater monsters. But for me, the standout element of Monster Hunter has always been the monsters themselves. For a game based around the relationship between man and beast, it was only natural for the team at Capcom to put a large emphasis on making its signature monsters as lifelike and as memorable as possible. In a 2010 interview with Game Informer, Ryojo Tsujimoto states, "We put the most emphasis on designing unique attributes of each monster. The team also often uses reference materials such as National Geographic to bring a certain sense of biological plausibility to the monsters. Monsters are a fictional creation, but we develop them with the idea that they could very well exist in our world, in our reality." With Sunbreak just around the corner, I thought it'd be fun to look back on the series' big hitters and explore some of the subtle design aspects which really helped them come to life. The Elder Dragons Ibushi and Narwa both feature a second set of jaws. These jaws appear to be based off the pharyngeal jaws of the moray eel. Pharyngeal jaws assist the main jaws during the consumption of prey. This evolutionary trait can probably explain why Narwa had no issue chowing down its partner for that mid-fight boost. Staying on the topic of Elder Dragons, Namael's wings are made of tentacles connected by a membrane. This is heavily reminiscent of the vampire squid. On the same note, its tentacles are also equipped with several sharp hooks, similar to other species of squid. Its plated bony body draws inspiration from the seahorse, and the extravagant light show that appears when it's enraged seems to be inspired by the bioluminescent bodies of the comb jelly. The Rachnakodaki's extending neck seems to be inspired by the goofy-looking pelican or assassin spiders. Nerscylla and its subspecies, the Shrouded Nerscylla, wear the skin of their respective prey, the Gypteros and Khezu. With the difference in outfit comes a difference in status elements and effects. And speaking of the Khezu, its suction cup tail, which it uses to latch onto walls and attack hunters, doubles as a ground while electrifying its surroundings. Looking closely at the Khezu's model reveals vestigial eye sockets, an understandable evolutionary design decision seeing how Khezu spend most of their days deep within a cave. On the topic of vestigial structures, the Delmador has two tiny spurs jutting out near the base of its tail, mirroring the vestigial bones of a snake. And similarly, the Amatsu has vestigial hind legs, which makes sense seeing how the dragon will go most of its life without ever touching the ground. When enraged, the Anjanath will sprout wings. The Anjanath is clearly in no shape to fly, but the existence of its wings may suggest which other brute wyverns it may share an ancestry with. Why the wings have stuck around though, that's up for interpretation. I believe that it may serve as an advantage to cool off the monster's body after it uses fire attacks, or perhaps to ward off any predators that it may come across. But that being said, I'm not too sure who is preying on the in-universe equivalents of a T-Rex. Well, other than the hunters, of course. The Rathian and Rathalos quite clearly share a lot of similarities. Very traditional looking dragons capable of poisoning and burning the player. But have you ever noticed their tiny elf-like ears? These pointed ears can also be found on smaller herbivores, Abdonoth and Runaplos, suggesting that all of these creatures may have at one point had a common ancestor. The same can be said for the Wyverians, but let's not even go there. Barroth's nostrils are located atop its crown, allowing it to easily breathe while submerged and cooling off in mud. A design decision seemingly inspired by the blowholes of whales and dolphins. The Barry Yoth has a second pair of claws just under its paws, allowing it to increase traction in icy environments. This is in addition to the many spikes which laid in its body. The Odogaron, a monster which you think it would have more in common with a dog than a cat, is seemingly more feline than canine. Its high agility and paw swipes are incredibly cat-like, and to top it off, its extendable claws also mimic those of a cat. Have you also noticed that the Odogaron's eyes remain open while they sleep? Turns out the Odogaron has no eyelids. Instead, its thick corneas protect its eyes from any damage and the surrounding effluvium. The Odogaron and its rotten Vaal housemate, the Gyros, both also have gills. A strange trait for land mammals, but I believe they function to also protect from the effluvium. Have you ever noticed how Kushala nose is noticeably redder than the rest of its body? This is likely caused by the condensation stemming from its nose, causing Kushala's skin to rust even faster. You may have also questioned why the number of eyes on the Xenojiva don't match up with its adult counterpart, the Saphijiva. Clipping inside a slain Xenojiva reveals that only the bottom row of eyes are actually real, the rest are just for show. A similar trait can be found on the Vaal Hazak. Its bright yellow glowing eyes? Yeah, those aren't actually eyes. Its real eyes can be found just a little below. And as a bonus, the Vaal Hazak shares many similarities with a real-life stoplight loose-jaw fish. The Ceregios, Paolumu, and Puki are all zygodactyl. Like some species of birds such as the owl, toucan, and parrot, they have 2 forward-facing and 2 backward-facing claws, common for perching birds, which plays into the relatively less aggressive nature of those monsters. The Bazelgeuse and the rat family are all ansiodactyl, where only one claw faces backwards, similar to an eagle or a pigeon. Usually found in more aggressive birds and birds of prey, which definitely makes sense for the Bazelgeuse. A final detail which may be a little more obvious to longtime players are the various shells found upon the crustacean class of monsters. The Daimyo Hermitaur, the Plum Daimyo Hermitaur, the Shogun Centaur, and the Shen Garoren wear the skulls of the Monablos, Diablos, Gravios, and Lao Shan Long respectively. A funny detail to note is that the Daimyo appears in Generations Ultimate, donning the Monablos shell. However, Monablos appears nowhere in the game. Let's just hope they haven't gone extinct. The Terra Shogun Centaur, Rust Razor Centaur, and the Tepeki Shen Garoren, exclusive to Monster Hunter Online, wear the skulls of Black Gravios, Glavenus, and the Acantor. But that's just a few fun and subtle details that I've been able to find in the Monster Hunter series. I'm sure there's a million more that I've yet to notice, so if you do know of any, please feel free to drop them in the comments below. Who knows, perhaps I'll do another video. A really big shout out to Reddit user UnagioLucio, who compiled a great list of subtle monster facts. His comment, along with my other sources, are in the comments below. Hopefully this video will be out before Sunbreak, which I've been cautiously optimistic for. Me personally, I've always loved the old school Monster Hunter, but I'm always open to new changes and developments. But anyways, thank you for watching as always. Please feel free to leave a like, maybe a subscribe, and to check out our other videos too.
This is badass a shot caller.
Look at this.
Oh, why'd you just bust me, you bitch?
No! And like digest.
Oh, you did it too.
We really inconsistently upload, but who doesn't love that? I would really love to do another one of these video essay type deals, but I'm someone with a lot to say and someone who's too lazy to say it. So perhaps if there is a market for it, maybe my top 10 monsters, or possibly why I love or don't love Sunbreak. I'd be happy to do one of those videos. But thanks again and happy hunting.